Our movie starts at a crime scene with 4 bodies. The police are there to investigate, and the forensic team discovers a buried body with no name or identity. They call her Jane Doe. The main detective says there are no signs of forced entry or theft in the house. Later, we head to Austin and his dad Tommy in the morgue. They're working on a body trying to determine the cause of death. Austin suggests smoke inhalation as the cause, citing damaged lungs, but his dad disagrees, telling him it's not enough for death and suspects a pre-existing brain tumor. Austin then tells his dad he's going out with his girlfriend Emma for a movie night. Emma visits him at the morgue and wanders around, telling Austin that she wants to see the bodies. Austin warns her about their disturbing appearances, plus his father won't agree. Tommy enters, telling her to pick a body to view. She chooses one randomly, finding it horrifying and wanting to see the one beside it. She notices belts on their feet, and Tommy explains they help differentiate between coma and death cases. She's surprised to see the person's face covered, and Tommy reveals he was shot in the face, then removes the cover, shocking her. Austin interrupts, saying they should leave for the cinema. However, Austin is surprised by a new body at the morgue. He asks his dad if he needs him, but Tommy insists he leaves to enjoy himself. Yet, Austin feels conflicted, telling Emma he can't leave his dad alone and promising to make it up to her. Austin returns to his dad, finding the body to be Jane. The police informs them that nothing is known about her and they need to find out what happened before tomorrow morning. They start working on the body, going through 4 stages of examination, starting with the external examination, followed by the internal examination. They find no bruises or bleeding, but notice her grayish eyes. They note all observations on a board. They discover all her joints are broken with no signs of swelling around it. They also find mud under her nails and extremely rare hair. They're shocked to find her tongue brutally cut, suspecting it could be due to human traffickers. Afterwards, they find her bleeding from her nose with a beetle crawling out of it. They also discover a missing tooth and a thread coming out of her mouth. Then they move on to the second stage of the autopsy, examining the lungs and the heart. As they were about to cut her open, the lights flicker, and when they open her body, they find her bleeding as if she had just died. Austin takes a blood sample and puts it in the fridge, then takes a skin sample. They notice that the blood they put in the fridge spilled on and covering the floor. Then Tommy begins to break the ribs to reach the lungs, finding them completely burned as if she never stopped smoking. He then examines the heart and notices signs of someone cutting it. Also, the internal organs shows abnormalities. As the weather worsens and the lights flicker on and off, they suddenly hear a noise from outside. Austin goes to check it. He sees a standing corpse behind him in the mirror, but when he looks back, it's gone. Later, he goes to investigate the source of the noise and finds something running inside the air duct, terrifying him, causing him to fall to the ground. His dad comes to check on him, and they find their cat trapped in the duct. Realizing it's the source of the noise, they release it but finds its condition extremely bad and critical. Tommy decides to euthanize it to end its suffering and puts it in the incinerator. Then they return to Jane's body. They see the morgue door opening by itself. Austin goes to close it, and they continue with the third stage of autopsy, examining the stomach and the digestive system. Inside her stomach, they find a rose, which they remove, and upon searching, they find out that this rose is originally planted in the north, and they assume she is from there. They also find a piece of fabric inside her with a tooth, noticing a strange inscriptions and symbols on it, wondering how all of this ended up in her stomach without being digested. They conclude that it might be part of a ritual from a specific religious ceremony. At this point, Austin gets nervous and asks his dad to leave, but he insists on continuing. When he peels off the skin, he finds similar writings to those on the cloth. Then everything around them starts to be weird. Mirrors break, refrigerators open, and bodies disappear. Austin convinces his dad to leave, but they find the door locked due to a fallen tree. They realize there is no phone network, and when they use a landline, they hear interference and couldn't hear the officer. Then Austin sees 2 legs of a corpse banging on the door from the other side. They keep the doors closed. Tommy goes to wash his hand, injured from examining the body, and when he returns, he suddenly feels pulled and the door locks behind him. Austin breaks the door to rescue his dad, finding him lying on the ground alone. Tommy tells him he saw someone with gray eyes like the corpse exactly and decides they should return to burn the body. When they reach her, they find the door closed on them, and the corpse, whose eyes were closed, now has them open. Austin Austin decides to burn Jane right where she is, but suddenly the fire spreads throughout the room and they extinguish it with a fire extinguisher, shocked to find the body unchanged. They hear the elevator, and when they go to it, they find a corpse approaching them. They quickly enter and try to close the elevator door, but it gets stuck. As the corpse gets closer, Tom hits it, but when it falls to the ground, they realize it's Emma, Austin's girlfriend, who died. Afterward, they enter the elevator and hide. Austin tells his dad that if corpse wanted to harm them, she would have done so, but she was warning them about something hidden in her body after her death. They decide to go back to Jane to find out what the secret is, but the smoke from the fire fills the room. As they move away from it, someone attacks Tommy, but Austin saves him, and they enter the morgue and lock the door securely. Then, they start to open Jane's brain and find it intact, but with wounds like the rest of the organs. They take a piece of her brain for examination and discover that her cells are still active, meaning that Jane is still alive. They still can't find an explanation for her death. When they grab the rag extracted from her stomach again, they find writings from a sacred book on it and realize she was a witch. In 1693, it was written that anyone, a man or a woman, attempt to consult the dead would face death, but they know there was no witchcraft at that time, so she was unjustly punished and buried when the rituals didn't work. They believe they did the same with many other girls. Austin suggests that she might be sensing what's happening now, so she's torturing them as they did to her, leaving marks on Tommy's body. Then the corpse tries to break the door to enter. Tommy talks to the corpse and promises to help her, but she mustn't harm his son. Suddenly, the corpse stops banging. Tommy's bones gets broken, and in return, Jane's bone is fixed, and she returns intact. Tommy suffers, so he asks his son to end his suffering. Austin takes his father's life peacefully to end him. Next morning, the police arrive confused by another inexplicable crime scene. The corpse, showing no signs of trauma nor any autopsy-operated Jane corpse, taken to Virginia Commonwealth University. During the ambulance ride, the radio turns on its own, and the corpse's big toe twitches. And that's it. If you like this recap, hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel to keep seeing content like this one. If you have any requests or thoughts, drop them below in the comment section, and we will see you at the next one. Peace out.